Overwatch is 40% less toxic? What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. So, yeah, we've got this like amazing statement which has been made by Blizzard. This is by Natasha Miller. She's a research developer at Blizzard, and this was from a GDC, so that's Game Developers Conference, which is going on right now in San Francisco. It's like the big industry conference where all the big like head honchos and all the super game devs and everybody all get together and they all sort of throw ideas around. It's the big yearly conference for everything game design, game development, and all of that good stuff. Anyway, there was a very interesting panel which was put on, and Gamer Sutra, there's a link to this article below in the video description, actually went into detail on this and broke it down. But the big thing here is Natasha Miller says Overwatch saw 40% less disruptive behavior with the endorsement system, and that is a really huge thing to say. And this isn't like, they're not just saying this like, oh yeah, it's 40% less. They have got all the data, and that's what they look at. The thing I want to talk about in this video is, do you think that's actually true based off your own experience? And I know what the comments are going to be. It's going to be like, well, what the hell? Overwatch is the most toxic game I've ever played in my life. You know, it's mega toxic. Hell, I've been playing Overwatch a hell of a lot recently, which I've got to be honest, right? I have been playing Overwatch, but I've not been sitting there and slamming out like 3, 4, 5 hour plus sessions of the game. But I have the last couple of days. I mean, the last few months, honestly, it's been a bit of a love-hate relationship with Overwatch for me. I'll play it a little bit. You know, maybe I'll play it for an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day. But it was never really this like mega, I'm just going to sit down and grind the game out. Like, I didn't really get the, like, I didn't have the Overwatch like thing, you know, like wow, what is it? It's like the draw to play the game. I don't know how to explain it, but that's back now, and it's been back for the last couple of days. And I've played a ton of Overwatch, and it just feels like the same Overwatch to me, and it feels like there is a lot of people out there who are very angry, and I don't know why. And it's like, guys, just chill. You know, we're not, like, I was getting blamed in one game for being terrible DPS. Only actually I had all of the gold medals for objective time, damage, and eliminations. I'm like, I can't be that bad. And we won the game, and we actually won the game quite easy. So why I was being flamed, I don't know. And then I was flamed in another game for being a bad tank. It's like, what the hell? We also won the game. I had very low deaths. So it's weird. You will just get attacked in Overwatch for no reason because people are just angry. Normally, it's because the last game they had is pretty angry. Anyway, all of this stuff is like, whatever. We can all sit here all day and just talk about random stories about people being toxic playing Overwatch and why this is crazy. It's obviously not 40% less and whatever. But we don't have the evidence of the entire player base. The one thing I do want to say, though, before we get stuck into this video, I honestly believe the reason why we have got a lot of angry and frustrated people playing Overwatch when it comes to competitive is because there is no rigid rule set, no structure to competitive. When you look at quick play, you can pick any hero you like, you can go in there and just have a good time. Yeah, I know people still are toxic and aggressive and whatever in quick play, but in competitive, you're essentially playing the same rule set. I know, you both teams get to attack and defend. It's different than just playing like, you know, let's say Numbani. If you play it in quick play, if you're on attack, yeah, we all know you just get to attack and then that's it. If the defenders stop you and you don't finish the map, then you lose and then you just go to the next map. I know it's different in that way, but what I mean is there's no structure. There's no like system in the game which makes the player's mind think, okay, I'm now entering a structured way to play the game. So this is like, it's got certain rules in place, let's say like a 2-2-2 meta or something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but there's no differentiation between quick play and competitive, and I think that's the problem. So over the years, what's happened to competitive is it's devolved into quick play, because why would you really care so much about your rank, which really doesn't matter? Because let's be real, the best way to get rank in Overwatch is to just one-trick a hero and play that hero over and over again, because ultimately you will win more games than you lose because you become better at the hero. That's if you're playing to get better. Like for me, for example, if I just played Soldier every game now, I would gain rank. If I tried to fill every game, it might be not as predictable in terms of the rank I'm going to gain, but me as a player, maybe I'm not going to get better than I would if I just played Soldier, because I'm going to get used to all of the Soldier matchups, the way Soldier works on certain maps. So there's all these other issues. Anyway, let's go back to the main point of this video. This is the 40% less toxicity because of the endorsement system. I want to ask you guys this. Do you actually use the endorsement system? I do not. And I don't know whether that's a statement I should be making. I don't know, because I literally do not use the end of game. I never give anybody rewards at the end of the game because I forget. I literally leave the game straight away. Like, I'll see people giving me awards. It's like, oh, oh, there you go. There was like a shot caller or a whatever, a good teammate award popped up. It's like, oh, that's fine. I don't care. I also don't care about XP. I also don't care about loot boxes. And I know a lot of people out there are the same. In fact, the rate you get loot boxes from the endorsement system is so slow, you just get more loot boxes from playing the game anyway. So if you just sat there and grind the game out and you're toxic as hell and you don't care about getting endorsements, or you don't even try to get them, you just don't care. You know, my account, I think I was level 4 on the absolute unit account at one time on endorsement, but it just drops down if you don't play enough. If you don't keep getting regular endorsements, it goes down, which again is a bit strange, because I mean, if you're a good player and you're getting commended for being a shot caller, but then in the next 3 games you don't get the shot caller award, and then I know it doesn't happen in 3 games, this is just an example, but because it's got decay, if you don't keep getting commendments or getting commended for whatever you're doing in the game through the endorsement system, then you lose level. And that's kind of weird, right? And I know the reason why they've done this is so you can't hoard level, and everybody would just be like level 4 ultimately. Like, does it get to level 5? I don't know. Everybody would be the highest level at some point, so it has to have some sort of decay. But it doesn't make you want to go after the endorsements. I don't know. It's really weird to me, the endorsement system. And to say that it's reduced toxicity by 40% seems like a hell of a lot, because I think there's a lot of other issues with Overwatch that cause all of that toxicity. And Miller says, looking for group gave players the option to link up with other players who had a similar playstyle. And then Miller goes on to explain, we wanted to give them a chance to change their behavior after we penalized them. Blizzard decided to focus on prevention first, and then she carries on saying, how do we go about preventing these behaviors? We did research in the form of focus groups and surveys. And that makes me laugh, right? It's like, did they actually do focus groups and surveys with Overwatch players? Or did they just do it with random people and go, hey, what will make people less toxic? It seems a bit crazy, don't it, some of this stuff? It's like, sometimes I think you could maybe say they're a little bit too... they rely too much on data to make decisions. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Hell, we all have to rely on data to make decisions. Look at me on YouTube. YouTube is a terrible son of a bitch for... You don't know what's going on with YouTube. You don't know. You could make the greatest video ever, but it might not perform very well because YouTube are like, well, actually, you put an extra word in the title and we only like titles with 7 words in. That's the kind of madness that YouTube operates on. So you have to look at the data and be like, okay, all right, does YouTube like it when I use caps in a title? Does it like it if I use caps as a full title? Does it like it if I just put 2 words in caps? This is the kind of crazy stuff which goes on. So that's reading into the data. And in a way, Blizzard kind of do the same thing, right? They've got all this data from their Overwatch player base, and then they look at things and think, okay, can we do this? Can we do that? What happens if we do this? And sometimes it's a little bit mechanical. It might not actually relate that much with the player base. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it, to think about it that way? Okay, so Miller then goes on to say, if you're not constantly getting endorsements, if you slip up, you're not going to get endorsements and your level's going to slip. Then she also added, if a player does slip up and their level falls, Miller then said it was a form of loss aversion. So that means basically that, well, I'll just read a quote. It says, this often causes players to want to get their level back and keep going, which offers a path to redemption. So again, this is that idea of having a hook, which is like, oh no, my endorsement level's gone down because I haven't got enough endorsements. I must go back into the game and be overly nice to everybody to get more endorsements. But then what's really the point of endorsements? Because you don't really have any benefit. Like, you don't go into a game with own... I mean, let me just explain this, right? So if endorsements were linked to the type of players you got put with, right? So if you were a level 4 endorsement and you could only play with other level 4 endorsed people, that would be a reason to get a level 4 endorsement and to maintain it, because that means you're going into a very positive gameplay environment. However, it doesn't do that, because level 4 can be with level 1, level 1 could be with level 3. It can just be all over the place, right? And also, a level 1 person might not be toxic. This is the other big issue with the endorsement system. You can be level 1, but just don't receive any endorsements because maybe, you know, you just go about your job, you just do it, you play well, you're not like in comms trying to order the team around, you're not trying to be overly nice to people, you're just playing the game, and maybe you're playing it well, but you don't get any kind of reward from that. And this has like been an issue with Overwatch for a long time. The idea of players doing things which actually can't be quantified. The age-old example is tanks, right? So you've got your tank. How do you quantify the tank creating space for the DPS? Like, in stats, it might look like the tank just keeps dying over and over again, but really, the tank might be forcing the enemy group to split or something, allowing his team to actually win or her team to win. So it's like, there's a lot of things which can't actually be tracked with stats. Miller also went on to say, it's a really big discussion for us. We didn't want to encourage the wrong behavior either. We wanted most of the push to be good to come intrinsically. And then finally, Miller provided details, as Gamer Sutra says. Miller then provided some data as to whether or not the social systems worked. Endorsements in particular, there was a 40% reduction in matches that contained disruptive behaviors since its implementation. When asked if they saw it as a product of the system, players agreed. The system makes people nicer. Miller explained that players appreciated that they were able to show thanks and support for their team. In addition, 50 to 70% of players have given endorsements. Now, the thing is, I've given endorsements, but I gave them when the system came out. I have no idea when the last endorsement actually was that I gave. Like, the only reason to do it is to get XP on your account. But then, in fact, I'll tell you, the last endorsements I gave, I would have, on PC, you press N at the end of a game, and it opens up the endorsement thing. I would literally click from left to right, like bang, 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 just good teammate, whatever, then go next. I think you get 25 XP, so, you know, whatever that is combined when you use all the endorsements. You see, I don't even really know how many endorsements I can give at the end of the game. Is it 3 or 2? And you can give 1 to the enemy team? Something like that. This is a problem, because I just don't care about endorsements. And I honestly think, like I touched on at the start of this video, there's a lot of other issues with Overwatch that are not just going to be solved with an endorsement system. There's things like the way the game is structured to make us play together in a team, and then it has some glaringly lacking features that don't actually add to that team environment. Everyone's been playing Apex recently. Well, I say everyone, okay, not everybody's been playing it, but a lot of people from the Overwatch community have been playing Apex. And Apex has got certain systems in the game, things like the ping system. Now, the ping system, Jeff has come out and said, yeah, you know, we had this in Overwatch, but it was a bit too spammy, so we got rid of it, and that's fine. Still, I can't help but think sometimes in the game, I would like to ping an enemy location. Instead of actually going, oh god, there's somebody behind us, guys, just being able to ping that enemy, ping the flanker, you know, that would be so good. But then maybe that's OP, right? Because then maybe that really screws over flankers, because if you spot anybody, you can pick them. But then again, you know, if the flanker was good, they probably wouldn't get spotted if they were flanking. So there's all of this stuff going on, right? I just think deep down, Overwatch is a problem with the structure of the gameplay modes that it's got. Quick play is fine, because quick play is where you go to just do what you like. And that, to me, is totally fine. Yeah, you should still play to win, but also you shouldn't worry about team comms. You shouldn't really worry about stuff like that. But the problem is, you don't get rank from quick play, so you have no sense of achievement. The sense of achievement in Overwatch is progressing through the tiers. If you're silver, it's getting to gold. If you're gold, it's getting to plat. If you're plat, it's trying to break into diamond. You know, that's what this game is about. And when you try to do that, you get this conflict of two different play styles in competitive. And I've seen this, and I've got 2 accounts right now that I've been playing on. One of them is 3.4k, so it's like high diamond, let's say. It is a terrible gameplay experience on that account for me, because nobody's really playing to win. Whether this is because of loads of Smurfs or what, I don't know. My other account is 3.8k right now, right? This is Steak Bake. You guys have seen some footage from that on the channel recently, and that account is completely different. People play to win. People generally pick kind of meta comps, although right now, obviously, it's all over the place with the meta because, well, we don't know what's going on. And actually, this is like one of the best times to play Overwatch, where the meta is totally thrown out the window. Loads of hero updates, loads of nerfs and all that stuff. Loads of buffs, actually, not nerfs. So it's like a really good time to play Overwatch, but it's way more structured. And I'm starting to think that it's only the highest end of the ladder where people are actually trying to play competitive Overwatch now. Everywhere else, it's a bit of a travesty, because it's like, oh, I just don't care. I'm just going to go in and play because, hey, it's kind of like quick play to me, but, you know, I might get some rank if I win the game. And that's wrong. I think there needs to be a change. I think there needs to be it needs to be more structured, I think, competitive. So the mindset changes that when you step into competitive, this is where you go to try and win. We're all going in here to work as a team. We're all going in to make a team comp. We're all going to play together to try and win. Quick play is I'm going in to play the hero I want to play. And in fact, that's what I'll end this video on. I think the biggest issue Overwatch has got is people want to play one type of hero. And when I interviewed Jeff, and I think he said this in the interview I did with him, but I know Jeff has said this in the past in various other interviews that he's done. They didn't really expect people to one trick. They didn't think people would get so attached to one hero and just play it over and over again, which is kind of crazy because given the strength of the hero design in Overwatch, obviously you would expect that to be a natural reaction, right? People are going to go, oh my god, look at Reinhardt, he looks amazing. I'm just going to play this hero and that's all I'm going to do. Now, that causes a problem because when you go into competitive, if you've got a load of people who want to play heroes that don't form a team, so you maybe don't have a main healer, then you're at a major disadvantage compared to the enemy team if they've got that. And a lot of games can come down to this in competitive. It can either be you win because you have a better team comp, you win because somebody throws on the enemy team, you lose because somebody throws on your team, you lose because you have a bad team comp, or you lose because nobody's really taking it seriously, or you win because the enemy aren't taking it seriously. It's very rare you get those great games where it's a very close matchup and both teams are really going at it hammer and nail. When that happens, Overwatch is the best game ever. And the devs, I think, honestly, need to work out some sort of a way where every single game is that hammer and nail. It's like that really high level game. Well, not a high level, but it's really like involved and it's a really good experience. Now, I'll end the video on this. People are probably going to say to me, well, Sty, LFG exists for that. And I think LFG does, but I don't think LFG solves the problem, because what LFG is doing is saying, hey, let's get together and form a group. That's fine, but you might have a group of randoms against a group of people who play together. That is severely imbalanced. That is like the people who play together will annihilate the randoms. So what they need to do is add a system into competitive, just into the solo queue. And we all know what that system's called, don't we, guys? I'm not even going to say it because you know what I'm thinking about. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost, and this has been an interesting discussion, I think, on this whole idea that Overwatch is 40% less toxic. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Do you think it is actually less toxic? I think, just to finally wrap this video up, because I've been rambling for a long time, is I do think it is less toxic because of these systems. 40% seems a high figure to me, but again, it depends on what data Blizzard are using for that. But I think it has helped, so it's been a good addition. But obviously, they still need to keep adding to it. And Miller does say that, yeah, the team are very happy with the results and plans on improving upon the systems and maybe implementing more in the future, which is consistent with an interview I did when I went to Korea last year with one of the developers, in which they said, yeah, they view the current social systems in the game as the crawling phase, and the next phase will be the walking phase. So whenever that happens, who knows? And if you guys remember, way back in last year, it was way back in last year when I did the first interview I had with Jeff, he did say that, yeah, in the summer there would be more social enhancements. That never happened, and it still hasn't happened. So, yeah, something must be going on. All right, guys, I'm Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. If you guys enjoyed the video, then let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.